Rob from RGL Machinery here. So we're going to be sharpening my Stihl HS 87 40-inch massive blade on it. These have recently just done loads of conifers and they're very sappy. I have put some resin remover on, but I've decided to not even bother because it's so thick and I want to just take them apart anyway, give them a good clean off, get ready for the season of the finer hedges. So yeah, I'm going to walk you through taking the blades off completely, cleaning them up and giving them a little touch-up sharpen. If they weren't very sappy, I'd just leave the blades on and just do a light sharpen. But yeah, let's whip them off. We'll need a T27. Should be a couple of little pry points at the side here. Just be careful of your gasket in between. And it's nice when the gasket comes off with the top cover. So the debris guard's done a good job, stopping loads of conifer bits going in there. And gearbox is running low grease as well. It's not dry, but not as much as I'd want in there. So this top connecting rod needs to come off. Just get a screwdriver in and work it up. Be careful, you got roller bearings. Pull this out as well. It's just these two here. T27 again. To support the end of the blade as well, because it will drop. And you got space there, so don't lose that. Right, so now you can just pull your blades off. Put that to the side and get that re-greased when we put it back together. I'll just get them in a little clamp. So yeah, you want an 8mm socket, spanner, nut driver, whatever, and then your T27. And when you pull them out, you'll have little sleeves on there, so don't lose those. So yeah, work your way along, get them all undone. It's always a good idea as well, if you're new to sort of taking this stuff apart, take them off and line them up in order, because the end two have got bigger sleeves in the middle. So yeah, just make sure you don't get confused. There'll be a plate on this one, and for these big blades as well, there'll be a plate on the end. So just give everything a good wipe down. And you want to scrape off all the sap. I'll just use a little utility blade. Just gets right underneath it, nice and quick. Yeah, look at that layer in there. That's what you want to get off. If you do want to use any resin remover, this stuff's great. Cramp. So spray it on, let it sit. Let it sit for 5 minutes or so. Obviously I'm not going to wait that long, but it's pretty much, obviously if I left it a bit longer, that would wipe right off. See this one here, I mean, I can't even do anything to that. So yeah, this stuff's really good. Yeah, because I'm taking them apart, there's no point me wasting the spray when I can just easily just scrape these off. And that stuff's messy as well. So yeah, just get all the blades cleaned off however you see fit. Honestly, these little blades are really good though. The little small ones are great as well. So yeah, get everything cleaned up both sides. Tops aren't normally too bad. Right, so that's the blades all clean, all the sap removed pretty much. Still a little bit on the teeth, but grinder will take care of that. So these teeth The edge is pretty good. To the untrained eye, you'd think these were fine, but there's tiny little lips formed, which we just need to take off. So this is what we class as a very light touch-up sharpen. So for these really fine hedge trimmers, we use a 120 grit sanding disc, flappy sanding disc. Another tool to use for touch-ups is a Dremel, but use a sanding drum bit as opposed to a stone. The drums leave a nicer finish. These sanding drums, depending on what grit you get, try and get quite a sort of a finish grit, 80, 100 or 120, something like that. So yeah, these are a lot better than the stones for little touch-ups. So I've just got it clamped to the edge of the bench, and again I'm going to use an angle grinder. Just come in, stay on the same angle, and we'll just light pressure. We don't want to take too much off, we're just touching up that edge. That's all the blades sharpened, nice and quick. And then what I do is I check the backs in the light, and what I'm looking for is any rounding over on the edges of the teeth. The light will pick it up. See if you see the light there. When you see a shiny bit like that, it means it's rounded. So I'll quickly just touch that one up. Yeah, so all these end ones this side, just going to lightly go over them a bit more, just to get rid of that rounding. Alright, so the next step, we just want to take off these little burrs. There shouldn't be too many big ones, to be honest. It's only a fine grit, so it doesn't create too many big burrs, but there's a couple of little tiny ones. For this, just use a whetstone. So yeah, I'll just get my whetstone, then just work these burrs off. So there we go, blade's all sharpened up. Most of the little burrs taken off. I'll say you can do individual, just run a little sharpening stone or whatever. Take the burrs off. Right, I'm putting my catcher plate back on as well. I'll show you the way I do it to rebuild it, because if anyone's tried putting a catcher plate on, you know how annoying it is. So this is how I do it anyway. What you want to do is lay it all out. So you start off with a line of screws, and then you build everything on top of the screws, if that makes sense. I've cleaned these washers up as well. It doesn't look like that one's clean, but I've put these on my whetstone. So you'll know most of the time there'll be a big wear mark down the middle. So yeah, definitely advisable. Clean these little sleeves up as well. So yeah, what you want to do is lay your bar out and then get your screws lined up pretty much with all the holes. Right, so you got your screws pretty much lined up with your bar. Just move it out of the way. Get your two blades, sandwich them together. and then you just want to work it on down. Don't forget your little plate as well on the underside of this. I'm not going to turn it over because I don't want it to lose all the screws. And then put your friction thing on. You might have to just move some of the screws, but they should all be in their right slots. And then get your top bar on, and then your catcher plate. And this end bit, just put that screw in. Obviously that goes into the gearbox, so it won't have a nut on the end of it. We're just going to do these up a little bit tighter, not fully tight yet. Right, it's rebuild time. So what I've started doing as well, I've started leaving the blades loose. So I did one time, I did tighten them up really tight, and then I realised when I came to put this in here, the blades were slightly twisted. So I always seat it in the gearbox first, so I know that they're straight, if you know what I mean. So I haven't tightened it up, because obviously when you tighten it up like that, they have a tendency to, the blades will sag, if you know what I mean, by the weight of them. So it's always good to get them in the gearbox first, try and get them sat level so they're in the normal resting place, and then tighten them up. So getting this back in, look at the hole there and look at the gap where your connecting rod needs to go. So try and eyeball it up and then try and get that in. That worked well. Get a screw in. Can I reach my drill and hold it? Just about. Good. All right, let's get these down tight. I'm not going to bother cleaning the gearbox out because it's pretty good. I'm going to add some more in there. Yeah, big dollop. Should be enough. You don't want to completely pack it out, but you know, get enough on there. Don't forget your little debris shield. Connecting rod always goes with the on these new 87s. The black seal bit up, roller bearings down. So like that, just might have to slide your blade back. So again, if this is all filthy, clean it out. I've cleaned off the debris here. This one's good. So that's it. Cover back on. Screws. That's just a low torque as well with the drill. Finish them off by hand. Whoops a daisy. We can flip it over now. Right, so now all we've got to do is just tighten up all these nuts and bolts. So yeah, I'll just literally rest it on something and tighten them up. These need to be done up tight, so do them up tight. So that's just how I do a nice little touch-up sharpen on my big single-sider. It's all ready for the toppery season now, and the finer hedges. So yeah, it's good. Got the blades nice and sharp. Give them a squirt of WD-40 or something. Job's a good one. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful. Like and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.